Welcome back to episode 8 of Sweat Sauna Stories. I'm joined by a phenomenal guest today, a great friend of mine, Malaysian international footballer, Hyrox superstar. Late as always, he's actually not here, aka OTW bro, on the way. Let's see if he even turns up today. Here he is, he's here, OTW bro, he's here, he's come, we've got him here.
Okay, mate, sound.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well, he's finally come, he's made it. The fastest man that I know, but also the slowest to ever get anywhere, which I don't understand how that works. Welcome, mate.
Cheers, mate.
He's here.
Thanks for having us.
Before we get going on these wall balls, because I've got a bit of a story about that, because we're fresh off Hyrox, Manchester, where most people go do one race.
Yeah.
Lee decided to go do 3.
Yeah, ended up being 3. Did the relay on Friday.
Podium.
The men's double on Saturday.
Podium.
And then mixed doubles on Sunday.
Another podium. Whoever win it a day. Yeah. Tell everyone a bit about who you are before we get on this wall balls.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Lee Tuck. I'm from Halifax, West Yorkshire. Lived in Asia for 15 years playing professional football for the Malaysia national team. Started out in Thailand, moved to Malaysia, played 7 years there. Family man, 3 beautiful girls, lovely wife. Moved back to the UK now and back in the UK now, focusing on business acquisitions and Hyrox, staying fit and enjoying life. Lots
to unpick there when we get to the sauna. I've chose a wall balls because I saw a video earlier at the weekend. There's a guy, if anyone knows Hyrox, Michael Sambach, I think I've said that right.
Yeah.
He's like second best in the world right now. There's a video of Lee going head to head with him on the wall balls in his partner workout, and Lee took the spoils, so I'm going to take on the man himself, Lee, now. I might have to edit this bit out.
So this is...
You do 50, I'll do 10.
This is the weight we used at the weekend. So it was like open weight, so it's 6 kilograms. It's 100 wall balls. And if you're doing doubles, you usually split it however you want.
50 each, then?
50 each.
Shall I do it?
Unbroken.
Lead us out, mate. Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
50. I'm panting a little bit out of this game, so those who are just listening, understand.
He's not ready.
I wasn't ready. What got you in Hyrox? Because it's an interesting one just to kickstart.
Yeah,
There's loads on a day.
To be honest, so obviously I played football overseas, moved back to the UK. I'm like obsessed with training, obsessed with football. So leaving the sport, it was like my personal choice. I wanted to do it. Moved back to the UK, be close to family, all that stuff. But I needed to fulfil something.
Yeah.
The void of playing, competition. Obviously you're kind of killing your identity as a footballer. You need that to be replaced. No matter what you're going into, you need a purpose. And yeah, I kind of fell into it really.
Yeah.
It's not something I looked into. Started training down at One Vigor. I only live 5 minutes away. And then someone said, "Oh, what are you doing in two months' time? Do you want to do this Hyrox thing?" And I was like, didn't have a clue what it was. Weighed 70 kg, couldn't push a sled, like 200 kg.
I remember this.
So I said, yeah, let's do it. You know, if I thought if I was going to fail, it doesn't really matter. You know, I'm coming in at 0. If I ended up falling out halfway through the race because I can't push a sled, so it's too heavy, so be it. You know, I'm not scared to fail. If it happens, it happens. But yeah, took it on. Started pushing the sled 2 weeks before the race. Managed to just get through the sleds, finish a good time, which your first time is your best time. You've never done a race.
It's exciting, it's
yeah,
nerve-wracking.
People are nervous, like, oh, I need to get this time, I need to get that time. They've never done a race. But yeah, just fell into it, enjoyed it with the environment of being around good people I knew from years and years ago, training and just replacing that football, you know, what I was doing day in, day out, really.
What were it like identity-wise when you left football? Because I know a lot of, being ex-professional player, a lot of lads struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I know for you, you've got a real supportive partner.
Yeah.
Good family. But what was that like for you as a man to no longer be Lee Tuck the footballer?
Yeah, for me, I always, I won't say bottle it up, but I like to look forward. So obviously I've gone from building for myself a good career, which I felt was successful for where I came from. Didn't come from like a high level Man United or Premier League club. Came from local team Halifax Town, played pro level for a short spell in England, then played semi-professional, went to Thailand and kind of built up my career over
Yep.
15 years, and then made a big name for myself. Did really well, so it kind of like let it all go within a space of, you know, one day you're there and next minute you're back.
Done, yeah.
Back to wet, cold, windy England. No football, nothing to rely on apart from what you built up financially. But yeah, it was tough. There was moments where I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm happy. It was my decision going into business, doing something new. But you can't just switch off. So obviously, it was difficult. I turned to, you know, just maybe eating what I want, having a drink every now and then, not like anything excessive, but just more comforts.
Yep.
Carrying on training really well, doing successful at Hyrox, but kind of like slowly coming away from that. It doesn't happen overnight, so just kind of dealing with it very well, but not sharing the moments when it didn't really.
And just tell everyone before we sit sauna now and delve a bit deeper on all this about Tuck Lee Burger.
To be honest,
or Burger Lee Tuck.
To be honest, I don't know much about it. To be honest, but basically, there's a massive following in football in Malaysia. So there's a lot of fan Instagram accounts with my name and all my photos, stuff like that. And then there's a new burger restaurant
called
Burger Lee Tuck. So the naming burgers after me. So a lot of the guys like Luke and a few friends take the piss out of me and talk about Burger Lee Tuck and all this, like. But yeah,
Malaysian superstar. Yeah. So we're going to sauna now. We're going to delve deeper because still everyone knows who Lee Tuck is in Hyrox world, Malaysia football, but no one still knows who is Lee Tuck. Good sauna.
Yeah, it took it out of me, that one.
You know, it's a shame, and this is why technology, we need to figure out something. It's a shame we didn't have the camera and mics in there, because that were a good chat. Something I want to pick straight up on, and I thought we'd dive straight in there, is a lot of people from my background, there's always a mental health background, there's a tragedy, and we got chatting and you sort of said, I'm quite lucky. I've been pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. You know, I've got a loving family, both parents, an older brother who's looked after me since a young age, and they've just encouraged me to push on anything I've done in sports. You know, they've opened the door to do different sports. I chose football, obviously guided from my family as well, and then literally from 10-year-old to 18, my dad, my mum, they've gone to every game we've had. We've not had a car when we were younger, but they made sure they got there through lifts, trains, buses, whatever it took. And you know, actions guided through parents speak a lot, and then it kind of makes me committed to putting the effort on the field or whatever I'm doing, because the parents are committed to me and back me whatever I do.
And I think there's lots to dive in on there, mate. I think a couple of things is in our group of friends, since you've come around, that group's sort of formed, people have this perception that Lee Tuck's a freak, he's natural, and it got me thinking about my own son, Alfie, who you know now.
Yeah.
Me and Johnny were talking about that. I wonder one day if people will say Alfie's just a freak, he's natural, and he's already started getting that. Do you know, at school people are going, oh, he's had it gifted to him. So then I just started relating that back to you when I was thinking, and people probably think, comes from a good background, which you do. There's also an element there, is what you said, parents didn't have a car, you know, you didn't, but they were everywhere, they were supportive.
Yeah, definitely.
And as a kid growing up, even if I don't know what money were like and how hard parents had to work, and I think we've sort of talked about that before, haven't we, that working class background, wasn't it? They were grafting. So that must be, for you now as a dad, looking back knowing that actually the impact you can have just by supporting them and what they can do is big, right?
Yeah, it's the values you taught as a kid, and you know you develop them as you get older. The hard work ethic, support. I had everything I needed as a child. We had roof over his head, food, all that stuff. There's obviously people in different situations. I played in Bangladesh, so I know a different lifestyle there and the struggles and the opportunities. So that opened up my eyes later on down the road. But yeah, I've had everything I needed. As a kid, I had natural ability, but there was always kids better than me at football and other sports. And that's been since that, from day one and all the way to now. But to get where you need to get to be, you have to put in the work and keep on developing. And I think that's one thing I've had since a young age, is just a hunger to grow, get better myself, work hard, and see where it takes me.
Well, tell us more about that. So actually, debunk the myth, because you told me something in sauna. Was you natural? Was you always the best at everything at school? Was you always the fittest, fastest?
I was definitely up there. Like, for example, cross country, I didn't lose a cross country, so stamina, running wise, I was really good. But there was always someone who could take the top. I was always seen as maybe number 2, number 3 at football at my school. I played at Halifax from 12 to 18. From 12 to 16, I was in the shadows, always on the bench, never seen as first 11. Didn't even believe I could become a pro footballer, but just kept trying to be one, pushing and growing and getting better. And as the years got on, the belief got better. I ended up playing first 11, ended up becoming captain, ended up being the first, only player to get a professional contract in my age group. But you don't see that from, step 1 to step 3 to step 4. It's like 50 steps down the line.
Yes.
So it's a process. It's just keep improving and just keep working hard. And even if you see it's going to be hard, or is it even possible, if you really want it, just keep pushing towards that goal. And you never know where you're going to get. You could always go further than what you expected. And luckily for me, I was very fortunate to get the opportunity to play abroad, because I played professional for a short time and got released. So I had to start again, play semi-professional football. Worked as a tiler, putting on tiles like we see in this sauna, and then worked my way to get an opportunity to go to Thailand, and then never looked back. Started from very small there and just built a career over 15 years, and it worked out very well.
So I'd argue there that is that talent or is that mindset, because what you said was you were up there at cross country, and I always think at school cross country we're all mindset. We're kids who are able to push through.
Yeah.
So then when that shit came, there were already a resilience there when you weren't getting started 11, where some kids that have took the bat and ball and they're assault because maybe they're from a privileged background and they used to be best at school and everyone's hyping them up, where you've got that dog in you where you've gone, okay, let's fucking have it here. Yeah. I might not be on bench now, but I'll prove you all wrong. Yeah. So then the argument there is were it just natural born talent, or were it a dog inside that says, I'm going to prove everyone wrong here?
I think there's definitely a natural talent there, but not enough to get you to where you want to be. Definitely for me anyway. I had to work hard, made many mistakes. I could be seen as a raw player against naturally gifted players. But I just worked on, as a young age, worked on my fitness, my aggressiveness, trying to be effective, dynamic. The older I got, I realised I need to work more on my technique.
Yes.
And then when I started playing at a professional level, I started becoming the person who takes set pieces, takes penalties, playmaker. So I've gone from a winger, attacking striker, then to a playmaker, because I worked on the things I wasn't seen as my highest qualities or natural abilities.
And it's interesting, because you said about being a tiler.
Yeah.
And they're a bit of a kick at teeth for you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Yeah, because that's interesting. That were really humbling, wasn't it? I bet.
Yeah, it was one of them. So obviously, I mentioned play for Halifax since a young age. That's my hometown. It's my club. Got released at 18 under Chris Wilder, who's coached some of the Premier League teams now. But got released at 18. Worked as a tiler for a couple of years. Played semi-professional football, and ended up getting a job to tile the Halifax town changing room showers.
We'd just not long been let go from.
So just been released maybe a year before. So it's kind of where I was and where my dreams wanted to be on the field, to then in the changing rooms on my knees and hands, and working hard and making sure it looks nice and pristine for all the players who were going to be playing at the weekend. So it was very stomach turned a little bit at that point, but probably 6 months to 12 months later, I was out in Thailand then playing, and
how did that come about? Fortunate. How does that come about? So you're tiling this floor? Yeah.
So just to give a little bit of background, obviously I got released at 18. Had big ambitions. Felt sorry for myself. Started going out with my mates, drinking too much, partying too much.
Like young lads do, innit?
Yeah, all that stuff, and going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, playing semi-professional football, so getting good money, and kind of in that mindset, which a lot of kids are now, when they try to break into a professional level, they're like, the dream's there, which is so hard to get, or it seems close but not, opportunities out there. And then the other option is the temptation, going out with your mates, making sure you don't let life pass you by, and enjoy everything while you can while you're young. So it's kind of like the mindset of, do you commit fully and miss that opportunity, or do you try and do both and balance them both? And at the time I was trying to balance them both.
Which you can't ultimately do, can you?
No, and you know, you kind of, you're accepting where you are, and saying, if it works out, great. If it don't work out, you know, I'll give it a shot.
Yes.
And I was young, so it was very difficult. And then I just still doing that, still going out, going through the motions, wishing and hoping I would be a professional footballer, thinking it's probably never going to happen. And then I just reached out to players who I've played with. Luckily, one of the guys were playing in Thailand who I played against, and I said to him, look, what's happening in Thailand? Is it professional football? And he was like, yeah, professional football. I'm like, but you train every day? Are you playing football every day? And he was like, yeah. Didn't ask him about money, I wasn't really bothered about salary or anything, just wanted to play football every day. Because I knew if I had the opportunity to train every day, I knew what I would do in my own time and with the club to develop my game to play professional football wherever I be. So yeah, luckily got the opportunity to go for a trial, sold my car, which were a bag of shit, borrowed £1,000 off my dad, because then I was going out spending all my money on, you know, as you do on the weekend. And then told the club I was playing for, which were a good semi-professional football team, guys, like, look, I'm going to have to leave the club. And then literally left everything for a chance of potential playing professional footballer out in Thailand. And I tell you, everyone always says, oh, I can't believe you've done that. You're just like, you know, I can't believe you actually did it. But for me, it was a no-brainer. You've got an opportunity to live in a beautiful country, play professional football, take an opportunity which, you know, it's very rare. Opportunity's probably not going to come around again. And worst case scenario, I just thought, yeah, I might have my tail between my legs coming home, but at least I come back and I can fall into life as it was. Worst case scenario.
Yes.
So, yeah, 3-4 days later, went out there, went for a trial, had a really good game. The guys was like, yeah, we want to sign you. Never looked back. 15 years later, obviously, I've been able to play football every day, so it worked out really well.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, that, were it? So you got to Thailand, you know, from knowing you then as well, living a very good... Good as, and I remember speaking to footballers at the time who I know, Mikey Collins, people like that, and he said it was like being a Lee Tuck out there, he's a Premiership footballer. You know, money's good. He said you had a nice place with a pool, and it wasn't like that for 15 years, or were it?
No, so the first year I went, money was rubbish, like really small. Lived in literally a bedroom with a shower for the 1 year. Which I wasn't complaining, you know, I was young. I was playing football every day, sunshine, it's like perfect for me, you know. And then driving a scooter every day to training, which I love, just being out in, you know, open. So yeah, it was a great opportunity. It was a really tough, but the best year of my life, as in, didn't speak the language, so I'm pointing at food, trying to order stuff, trying to communicate with players that might be taking a bit of piss out of me, trying to develop my culture with their culture, and just started to grow up really fast. Taking my spare time to train on my own, practicing shooting, because my shooting were rubbish then, because I was playing semi-pro and working, so just working on my weaknesses, and it was tough, but over the years things got better and better, built a good career, and then after 6 years I built such a good career where, like you mentioned, like brand new house, swimming pool, car, motorbike, good money,
living,
you know, famous footballer, all that kind of stuff. And then got released within, you know, a space of a week.
Quite an injury, that?
Yeah, so I fractured my foot, end of the season. Luckily, off season, went home, came back. And then the club wanted to go another direction. New management came in and said, oh, look, we want to get rid of you, stop paying salaries to force me out. So I had two options, either stay stay with a club, don't get paid for 6 months because I couldn't find a club within the league at that moment in time, such short notice. Stay with a club, sit on the bench, watch them play, wait for the next window to find a club, and I just thought, I've got too much to give, I don't want to sit on a bench, I'll do whatever I can to play wherever I can. Spoke to an agent, said look, find me a club. He ended up coming back to me with an option to go play in Bangladesh. So very
How do you do this, Bangladesh?
Yeah, very interesting. It was like more money, big club with big history, all this kind of stuff. Didn't know nothing about the league, but I was like, right, yeah, let's do it. Flew over there, signed a contract. Georgia joined me literally a day later.
It's your wife? Yep.
My wife, we didn't have any kids then. And then like, for me, I just saw it as right opportunity, go play there 3, 4, 6 months max. Try win a trophy with this club, go back to Thailand for the second window. Georgia came with me in the car on the way from the airport to the hotel, and as soon as she got in the hotel, she started crying.
Oh.
And she was like, "You deserve better than this," because it's a third world country. You know, it's like the standard of living is very different to Thailand. So I was like, no, don't worry. I'm optimist. I'm thinking, right, we're gonna play for a big club. It's good money. We'll set ourselves up. We'll go back in 6 months' time. I'm not sat on a stadium watching games. And then reality set in when I went to the training ground, and it was like just dust. The facilities are really bad. Yeah, it was tough. Like as in where I've come from to where I were. 2 or 3 months were really tough. Like we didn't want Georgia to go outside and be on her own. Obviously, don't know the environment, all that stuff. Kind of
Dangerous place, wasn't it?
Yeah, we felt safe. Like everywhere we went, people were nice. Like the people unbelievably nice. But the club was like, don't go anywhere when it's dark, and it's like.
There were ISIS attacks and all.
Yeah, there were ISIS attacks. So there were a period of time where we were going to games, and there were soldiers in vans in front and the back of the buses and travelling. Staying in hotel rooms, we had a soldier on our floor of the hotel, just with guns and stuff. So it was scariest times, and it was kind of like, should we just pack it in and go? Only white people in the league, probably not many people in the country. So like you're in the newspapers every week, like scoring goals, winning games, like. It's an easy target, you know. So it was a bit scary, but like it was a very hard time because I've gone from building a career to kind of people saying you're going to find it hard to find a club in Thailand or anywhere else after going there.
It's an old penthouse to shit house, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a year, it's like from there, in the penthouse with the pool to.
Yeah. It was hard, mate. So because we'll go to a cafe and there'll be beggars, there'll be kids all over asking for money. So obviously you give money out all the time, but you just saw the poverty there, and you saw how people found it hard to get opportunities. So it was very humbling. It was another period where I developed and grew as a person, and just realised how grateful and fortunate you are, and how these people are just so humble and nice, and they don't have much, but they're willing to give, and to not just give you what they've got, but like give you the time, help you out, and don't ask for anything in return. That's my experience I had. So it was a very humbling time. But what I decided was, me and George went through a period where I'll be down, she'll pick me up, she'll be down, I'll pick her up. And then after like 2 or 3 months, I just said, look, see this as, or it's not as good as what we had, or this is not as good as X, Y, Z. Just see it as an opportunity. See an opportunity to win trophies in a new country, be with a culture that you're never going to do if I want in a football situation like this. Get to know the people, get to know qualities they've got which I don't have, and experience, make something of it.
Yes.
So I was there 10 months. We ended up getting my head down, doing really well with football, which could have gone south. We won the league unbroken, won the FA Cup, runners up in the League Cup, so really went well as football wise. Opened up a door for me to go to Malaysia, and then from there things went even better than Thailand. So there were a lot of positives. It was a bit of a slump, 2 or 3 months, but my mindset, I just said, look, let's just spin this around and digging deep, make the most of it, and see what comes of it. Set goals, put them on the wall, and to be honest, most of them did come true as well. So, and you're thinking, will this come true? But I'll just set it anyway. So yeah, it was. We look back, me and George, and we're always, glad we went to Bangladesh.
See, it's mad because doing what I do now and having this conversation, I already know why. Now having this conversation, there's 3 things that I'd put your success down to and why you'll always be successful. Just from this conversation, and I've got like butterflies thinking about it if people are listening. So a lot of the time it's the shithouse to penthouse story where, people, it's the underdog where you've got a level of that. But what you've always done from the story I've heard so far, he's had 3 mindset traits that I think if people could adopt, their lives would change. From a mental health perspective or business perspective, there's always been that I will outwork everyone, no matter even if I don't work out right now, I'm going to outwork everyone. And even if it does not work out, I'll know that there's nothing Lee Tuck could have done more. There's a fucking obscene amount of optimism that no matter what happens, I'm going to make the best of this. So I'm in this shithole in Bangladesh, Mrs. can't go out, but I am going to make the best out of any situation I get. I'm going to point at food, and just the way that you tell your stories, there's no wonder why there hasn't been lots of suffering, because the way that your mindset views everything that's happened, whether it's your parents getting trained, whether it's getting let go, whether it's that kick in teeth, and I know how that'd feel. If you've gone to your dream job to play for your local town and they make it, and you have to go get a job and tie up floor, you'd feel like a right now. You just would. And then to then look at that and go, it's okay, it'll still work out, and it's constant optimism to work out. But I think that both of them come from the third thing, which you've got more than probably most people I've ever met, is a gratitude, like the highest form of gratitude I've probably ever seen. Like, you view everything, very similar to me in that this has happened, and I've just put some out about this, or that my favourite quote in my journal, and that ain't another shameless plug, is it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. And I think, Tuck, you underpin that, how you respond more than anyone I've ever met, because there's this constant level of optimism, but from the gratitude. So it's like a gratitude that it's shit where me and my missus are, but we're here, we're going to make this work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here now, and I don't know how to language, but I'm just enjoying it. I'm on my scooter, and the way that you tell the story, where you're smiling and living that life again. And even like I was out with my friends, even though it might not have been good for your career, it was still everything you talk about. Yeah. I can just tell you enjoy it, which ties into a story about you that I brought you up the other day. As you have them friends who you don't see for a while, right? So I've got a couple of friends at the minute who I might not see for a while, and there might be a bit of an awkwardness at first to get through that. But I actually brought you up as an example, and it makes sense now. I says, but when I see Lee, there's always an energy where it's like, hey, big man. But from both sides, and it don't matter if it's been 6 months, 12 months, however long, there's always that. And then someone else the day after brought you up in a similar context, randomly, that they'd seen you at Hyrox and they've never seen anyone as humble in the way that how you go and make everyone else feel. So I think, 1, there's this ability to work hard. 2, there's this optimism. 3, there's this gratitude. And because your gratitude underpins everything, wherever you go then, you're just grateful to be in their company, whether it's right now or whether it's wherever. You're always late as well, probably because you're too busy figuring out how grateful you are that you're doing all this stuff. But that's my take in. Yeah. But where does that come from? Is it from the go to Bangladesh and being at the shit end of it? Because there's always something that happens to someone, or a series of events that makes someone go, and it's usually a near-death experience, which is weird, or something like, mine were more having a car crash, and it's changed my mindset that let's live every day for today. But what were it in your career or life that you just said to yourself, everything's cool, I'm good here, no matter what happens?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, like, obviously, I have a lot of weaknesses, I always want to do more, and I always have insecurities, like, I can do better. But I just feel like whatever situation you're in, you can make a decision on either try and make it better and try and look on most of the positive sides of it and find a way through it, even if it's not easy or you're not happy with it. Try and just find the good ways through it, or don't complain or find an excuse, or the decisions we make in his mind reflect on how we make his decisions in his actions. Correct. And then that determines where you're going to be, maybe not today, tomorrow, but in 10 years' time. So,
see, I think I have this a lot, and it probably ties in with your life, is that We all need strong male role model figures in his life, and you come from an home where mum and dad were there. I think that's really important.
Definitely.
You know, you've had a dad who you've always looked at. He's always been there to support you.
Yeah.
Looked up to him. That's really important.
Yeah.
But then I think for a man, when you get to a certain level in life, you've got to have, whether in your relationship, you've got to have someone who's in your corner, your partner, and I think we've spoken at length about this, about both being fortunate in this. And I listened to a quote the other day, and it were a woman speaking actually, and she says, and people might have backlash on this, where women get it wrong sometimes with the man is for a man to be what he needs to be a man, he needs to have a level of freedom. And not freedom of going out and doing what he wants, but a level of freedom to express his creativity and go do that. To not be controlled and to not always be criticised. And if you think back, probably, you might think of relationships you've had or friends that have had relationships, there's often a level of when they struggle in their relationships, it's the fact that the partner is maybe always criticising them. There's always a control and they always feel like they can't do what they need to do to be that man and be that provider.
Yeah.
But from the outside, and you've always seemed to have the complete opposite of that, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I think we spoke about this before. There's different personalities in individuals and relationships. Like I've done personality tests, my wife's done personality tests, and one of the things we came across is the two personalities we've got marry really well together. So my wife's a defender, so what that means is she's the strength of a family. She's
Yes.
she'll defend the family, she'll make sure everyone in the family is looked after and taken care of, and everything's kind of everyone's okay. Where I'm kind of, I want to go out, conquer the world, be the hero, do amazing things, and Georgia supports me with that, and she wants to push me to do better, and she gives me that freedom to whatever I need to do. She knows me inside out, she knows me better than me. She knows when I need to train, she knows when I need to be alone, she knows when I need support, and I'm kind of her strength in different ways as well. So she's kind of an introvert in many ways.
Yep.
So she won't show emotions to people outside, but she'll vent that to me. So we work really well together. She's an amazing wife, the best mom ever, and she gives me that flexibility and freedom to be the best version of me. And she knows I'm, like last minute guy, turn up late, decide to do something, now I'm doing it tomorrow. So she knows, okay, that's the way Lee works, do what you need to do. But she'll rein me in when she needs to,
Yes.
and I'll listen to her when I need to. So yeah, it's without that person, I couldn't achieve half of what I've done, and physically and mentally, I need that partner in my life.
And I imagine it hasn't been easy for her, has it? Travelling the world sometimes, you've been away, periods in your life where you're still in Malaysia living the life, she's stuck here. I think there were COVID at one point when you had kids, and she's got all that going on. And
yeah, honestly, mate, so like from an outside point of view, people just see snippets of your social media.
Key view, innit? Social media,
It is, yeah.
10-second story.
Like we're playing, I've got football games, we're living here, we're living in sunshine, we might go out for a meal, do whatever. But the thing is, we don't have the family support, we don't have the close support of friends from his own town and culture. So, I'm away for 2-3 weeks playing football. She's there with two now 3 kids, but 2 kids before on her own. She's looking after them. She's taking care of everything. She came to Bangladesh when we had no kids. Supported me, lived with me there 6-7 months without any friends there or any support from family from home apart from over phone calls. So she's an absolute rock star, and I don't think a lot of partners would do what she did through the hard times. But yeah, we've had an amazing time, we've lived a great life, but there's also, it's not plain sailing.
Correct.
You've got to give up a lot to get a lot.
Sacrifices, innit?
Sacrifice, yeah. So yeah, without that in my life, I don't think it would have been as easy, or I don't know where I would have been. It might have been a different story for myself.
And interesting, just as a side note here, how proud are you? Because I know I'm really proud of Georgia. I've known Georgia a long time. And you know, even some of the stuff when we went to Nice that she's been through with her family, you know, and you know, so for me having daughters, I don't get emotional about much stuff, but one thing I'm very proud dad, and I know Georgia unfortunately lost her dad at a young age, and I could probably understand now why she's as strong as she is, and why maybe she's depends on you but don't depend on you. She can live with that freedom. But she's doing something, and it's giving me tingles thinking about what she's doing for her dad, because I hope, touch wood, don't know what happens if it's happened to me. My daughters would hold me in such esteem that they'd want to do something, but she's doing something this year, isn't she? And I've been following her journey, and I find it really inspiring. Shout on that canal, pounding away. What's that for?
So obviously, unfortunately, Georgia lost her dad at a young age, heart attack. Also, a niece, Rosie's had heart problems as well. So British Heart Foundation is a charity of choice. She's had 3 kids. She's not been able to train for the last few years because she had the kids all around the same time. So she's got back into training now. She went in for the London Marathon, so she's training for that. And just a few weeks ago, she started getting into running again. She did like 3K, and she was like, I can't even run. Like, I'm struggling.
I think I saw the video. Her ass.
Yeah, she was really struggling to do 3K, so I just say, look, just do step by step. Literally now, she ran 18K yesterday non-stop. She's absolutely flying. She did a 10K a few days ago, and then did a HIIT workout in the same day, so she's just progressing very fast, and she's got, you know, a big meaning behind what she's doing. As you know, at Andy Mann's club, a lot of people do the same. You know, when they've got something to work towards and you know, something meaningful behind her, anything's possible. So I'm proud of her. You know, I'm training a lot now. She's training a lot, so we're bouncing off each other with the different training, the heart rates, the miles, all that stuff. So we're both now showing the kids how to move forwards with as lifestyle and what we want them to see us do. And yeah, it's a good time to be alive, mate.
You know, I'm big on that. Like, what your kids see is what they become, not what they hear. You can tell them all day long to do this, don't do that, but what they see. And you know, I laughed this morning that Alfie,
unbelievable what he's doing.
Has texted one of the lads last night in group, one of our lads, picked me up in the morning, please. He stood at the top of the road waiting for me at 10 to 6, gone out running with lads, and then one of them dropped him off at school. So
he was at Hyrox at the weekend.
And they were at Hyrox at the weekend. I was just
there, he was on his own. I was like, oh, where's Luke?
Again, go with one of the lads, you know, and it's monkey see, monkey do. And I actually put something out last night about a teacher's job is done when, it will basically like when the master passes his torch and the student shines a light, his job here is done. And it sort of feels that way. So now to see your 3 girls at the track come in and seeing your missus and yourself, it's beautiful.
Just touching on Alfie, I remember when I moved back to the UK just over a year ago, you know, he was a little lad trying to run on the track, struggling to do 400 metres. But he had that dog in him, you know. You could see he was struggling to get around track, but he just has an ambition, and he looks up to yourself, looks up to some of the lads, you know, on the track, and his developments, you know, just shows work hard and determination and the right support from his upbringing. What he's developing into now is, you know, it's inspiring even for us to see. He's inspiring, you know, us who are older and showing the way for him. It's inspiring to see what he's doing. So, you know, I'm glad what he's doing, and he's such a nice lad as well.
Well, he's got definitely 2 of the pillars now that you've got, which is that dog, where he wants to start work everyone, and that optimism. He came back from Hyrox, and I'm just going to emphasise this for you. He's come back from Hyrox as a 16-year-old kid who's just broke world record at 1 hour and 2, and he texts me straight after saying that record's mine.
I think he's got it in him, mate.
He believes it. So, but what's interesting about you is what a lot of people won't know. They might have started following you on social media. Is that to your Malaysian fans, you Burger Lee Tuck, you're Mr. Malaysia. You've even done Hyrox for Malaysia, haven't you? And we'll finish on the Hyrox bit. But you're also probably the same 3 pillars in your business mindset. This absolute mad optimism to go do some crazy stuff that you've told me before. It blows my mind. A gratitude of the opportunities you've had to put yourself in that position, and then this, I'm going to outwork everyone. So tell us a bit, because I'm going to spoil it a little bit by saying footballer, Hyrox, randomly owns a big joinery manufacturing thing. People are going to go, help me bridge that gap out. he owns
Yeah, a bit mad.
a manufacturing, furniture manufacturing company. Explain that,
Yes,
because
I think, yeah, I've always wanted to be, obviously an athlete first. When I finish being business, be an entrepreneur, do more things than just be a footballer. Basically, I want to achieve a lot of things in life. So over the past few years, as soon as I started earning some money to save from Thailand, started to put that away, invest in property. So built up a portfolio, educated myself, read many books, invested in education, how to invest in the UK. So very comfortable, built a portfolio. So that's kind of long-term wealth which I've put aside, which has allowed me to make a decision to leave football, to move back closer to family. So that was always the long-term goal. So build up portfolio. So I've got wealth for my family, my kids, for after football, because we all know your career can stop at any moment.
any point.
And then from there, I've started looking into business, how to run a business, and then now looked at business acquisitions. So how to buy existing businesses that are seven figures and above turnover, basically acquire them, improve them, and then position them to exit to like private equity, all that kind of stuff. So it's a new skill set. I've put probably 2 to 3 years of education while I'm playing. So I'm playing football in my spare time, educating myself, reading books, training with the right people, and then set myself up. As soon as I moved back to the UK, started looking to acquire business. Spoke to over 300 business owners. Had a criteria. So not sector. I didn't want not any random sector, but a selective sectors. Anyway, gone through the process, and then managed to buy myself a wood manufacturing business, which is very bizarre from which people think to look from. But the thing what I'm doing is I'm not buying a job. I'm not looking to work on the tools, on the machines. I'm looking to work above the management. So implementing the business fundamentals of like how to put systems in place, operations, leading, managing teams, culture, the goals, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's gone really well. 7-figure business. It's very tough. It's not just simple.
Been challenging, isn't it?
Yeah, don't just you buy a business and everything's plain sailing. So I've gone from playing professional football for a Malaysian national team to UK wood manufacturing business. But I love it. I love the challenges, and my role really is strategy and finding solutions for problems rather than the day-to-day stuff. So I enjoy that stuff. I like it when the team come to me like, we've got this problem, and then kind of like working together, putting the solutions for the problems and letting the team deal with that. So it's gone really well. Needs to go better. We've got a 2 to 3 year plan with that business to exit that one, and then we're buying another business which is a vehicle rental company with 400 vehicles. So this is a total different language to football now, but I'm learning as I'm going along. I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the challenges. So it's keeping me sharp, keeping me motivated, and it's a new chapter after football.
I think anyone who's been watching and today will know there's a very good chance it'll all work out, because I probably imagine that the 3 pillars will be within there somewhere. Let's keep optimistic about what we can do with this business.
Definitely.
But let's keep grateful where we are, and let's just keep outworking everyone in our sector, whether it's Hyrox, whether it's wood manufacturing, or whether it's car leasing. I think that mindset will probably live with you forever now, probably even in parenting it. Being grateful, optimistic, while continue to work hard. I think it's just phenomenal.
That's it, yeah. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate it.
We do a little section now, and I'm going to tie in because I'm conscious of a time that we're going to get kicked out of here very shortly. It's just on the spot, it's called. It's just 3 questions each.
Okay.
And I'm going to cheat by asking. My first question I wanted to ask is what's your goal in Hyrox now?
Okay, so obviously we had a great weekend. We got very close to some world records. So my goal is to be number 1 with the fastest time in the world for the relay. I would like to get the fastest time in the world for the men's doubles. Then this year's goal as well is to get sub 60 in men's pro solo. So there's a few like goals there which are very achievable.
Yeah.
you know, I think we're not far off a couple of them world records. It's all about timing, but I think I can achieve them goals. Hopefully reach the Elite 15.
Yes.
I think.
Glad you've said that.
Yeah, that would be next year's goal. I think might be a little bit too short this year and unrealistic to reach it this year. I'll give it a go.
Yes.
If I can do it, I'll do it.
Amongst business and family, I love that.
But yeah, I know that you have to put in the work to achieve what you want to achieve, and saying it's one thing, doing it's another. So I'm putting in the work now. I'm getting better and better, and I'm catching up. So I think next year is going to be a really good year for me on the big scene. But we'll see. I'll give it a pop this year.
Your question?
For you?
Problem with doing podcasts or vlogcasts in heat areas is that everything fucking melts.
Getting hot.
So, lay back to your question one. Take two.
Right. Okay. So, what would you be doing if you didn't become a professional rugby player?
Entrepreneur. At 6-year-old, most people won't know this. I've always had some side hustle, even been when I got to rugby and all the stuff. But when I was 6-year-old, I went to Wilkinson's and all I ever wanted to be was a businessman. So I bought a little gardener's belt and I went and knocked on neighbour's door. I was allowed, I think it was 3 to 6 houses down and 3 to 6 houses up. And everyone, a little fat kid, turned up, not kind of dig your weeds up, started with that. And then I just, all through school, it were like CDs, it were DVDs, it were, you name it, I always had something going on. So
I can see that, obviously we know each other, I can see.
Always, I just had something that just excited me. Do you know what I love about business? You know, I've got friends who'd say like I love numbers because I'm a bit of a numbers nerd in me, but I actually just love the interaction of business or the transaction. And you don't have to monetary. Anyone who works with me in my business will know that like it's never money first, which is a mad way to run a business. It's like value first, and as a result,
value.
yes, and as a result we get that back, and it's worked for the last decade and a half. So yeah, for me it's just about probably that entrepreneurship. So on that theme, in fact I'm going to flip this thing when I go for the question. What does it mean to be a good dad to you?
Well, if I feel I'm not being a good dad, I just don't feel I'm having a good day, I'm not doing the right things, don't feel good within myself. So, you know, that's most important thing to me, is being a good dad and showing these what I feel is the right way and letting them decide what they want to do in life. Yeah, for me now, obviously I've always had number one goal, be the best professional footballer I can be. Since the little ones came, that soon changed, and you know, I thought I'd be playing football till 40, 45, which I believe I could do. But the number one goal for me was being a good dad, so for me it's everything.
Love that.
Yeah. What is a fear you've got which nobody knows?
My kid's getting older. No one knows that. I fear very little. I mean, nothing. I don't fear death. I don't fear failure. I don't fear judgment. I'm really don't care about most things. The only thing that fills me up, gets me upset, is when I have a reminder that my kids have got older. And I'll tell you something here that I put a post on recently. I was in Inverness and I was thinking about something Aubrey had achieved that week in this cross country and how old she looked. I know she's only 10, but old she looked. And men don't often talk this, and I very rarely do this anymore, but I cried. And I was laid in this Inverness bed because a photo would come up of Aubrey when she was a kid, and then when you click that Apple thing where it shows you that person, you can click just seeing that person. So what I do is if you ever read my actual captions, they're really from the art, like I'm in spelling mistake, and it were about her getting older, and it really got me, and it always has, of that time when they'll no longer need you. That really gets me, big time. So
that is a scary one.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
We've got the little one turning 1 next week, and me and Georgia spoke. It's like, because we're not having any more kids. It's like it's the last time we're gonna have like a baby.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you're not gonna get that again. The stages, you're not gonna get that stage, and the older they get, the less they need you. So yeah, I think there's stats out there. The older they get, the less time you spend with your kids, all that stuff. So I know where you're coming from with that.
It's tough, that one. Third and final question is, when is Lee Tucker his most peaceful? Because you're busy a lot, you've got business, you've got kids, but when are you actually peaceful, at peace? What do you do to be at peace?
To have peace. I think my mindset, and I feel peaceful when I'm exercising, to be honest. I know like it's, crazy kind of training and stuff, but I think that's where kind of the meditation comes in, when you get into the groove of exercising, running at a tempo, that kind of stuff. That's where I vent and I start to feel relaxed, and I come in after that workout, feel like, yeah, I've achieved something, I'm relaxed. So for some people it's when they're going to bed, but I'm kind of like, I'm up, I'm going, I don't want to rest too much. But yeah, I relax when I'm working out, to be honest.
So when someone's driving on Copley Road, they've got the nice Ed Sheeran acoustic covers on, and they're really chilled out, and they see you running 3-minute Ks where everyone chasing you, they just need to know Lee Tuck's at peace.
That's when I'm meditating. Yeah.
For the final, mate.
Okay. Yeah, a bit of a big one for you. So, where do you see yourself and the things you're involved with, like Andy Mann's Club, the podcast, your own businesses? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
It's interesting this. So probably because of the stuff I've been through, I, like yourself, wanted to play rugby till I was 40. I retired at 26. And I remember having it on a goal, play rugby till I'm 40. I want to look after myself, and I really wanted that. And the purpose I'm telling you that is that life changes on a whim. You can lose a loved one, you can have a breakup, something could happen to one of your kids. So what I'll just flip it is not to not answer the question, because 10 years from now I might be an air hostess, and that sounds mad,
I can
but
see that.
yes, exactly, all can happen. Right? I don't have a goal to be an air hostess. I tried thinking of something that were a bit out there, but I could be doing anything in 10 years' time. But the vision for Andy's Man Club is that there is a group for every man within 30-minute drive, and by his 10th birthday, which is only 18 months away, or just under, we'll let us 500th group, so we'll probably be halfway there at that point. So there's a lot of work to, a lot of impact to have there. Business, I'll be honest with you, I'm just ebbing and flowing. We're currently on a big MOD contract, which most people don't know about. I can't delve too much into that, never spoke about that on here. So that came out of nowhere, and it'll go out of nowhere. But there's lots working on at the minute that I'm truly grateful for. I'm very optimistic, and I'm willing to outwork, and that's why I think I connected with you on those 3 things, because just today Charlotte got a video of me dancing around office, because I was just, I were in flow state. I went in front of some prisons, I've got lots going on with schools, there's new businesses coming in, we're starting programs all over, and I just want to have an impact. And whether that's in schools, businesses, ultimately I just want people to live like, not even a stress-free life, but like a happier life, where people just realise that it doesn't really matter. Life is short, it's going to end before we know it. Fucking enjoy the ride. So over the next 10 years, I hope I do that, and I hope I have a shitload of experiences along the way and stories to tell.
That's amazing. Well, mate, you've already done that over the last 10 years. Then you've achieved them goals, but I know you want to do even more. You want to impact more people's lives. So I think having that goal of having somewhere for someone to go within 30 minutes drive, I think it's needed in this day and age, and what you guys are doing is amazing. So you should be proud of what you're doing as well, Paul.
Love that, mate. Nice. So we're going to get in the ice baths, but we're going to do it a bit different today, because I think we've answered a lot of questions. We're going to go in there to be at peace. So we'll, just for a bit of fun, we'll still do rock, paper, scissors, because I'm with a born winner here.
So let's go.
He's probably going to, let's see how he goes. He's optimistic.
Well, I go papers.
Best of one.
Well, I go papers.
Oh, I know this trick. I know this trick.
Well, I go papers.
Oh, he's done me. I don't know what that means. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Hey! I won. The winner.
He's done
1-0.
He's done
Luke Ambler, Lee Tuck.
Fair play.
There we go. So Lee, final question we always ask is how's this been for you?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's brought up a lot of old memories. It's made you bring out some qualities which I didn't really, bring to light myself. So I appreciate that. And it's good to chat with a mate and share a bit about my background. So thank you for having me.
I love it. And if any of you are ever out there, like our mates, to having a coffee, wondering how this 36-year-old guy does it, one, he works extremely hard, harder than anyone you've probably ever met. He's extremely optimistic about what can be, and he's grateful for everything that's been and everything that is. That's today's lessons for you all to take away, hopefully. Remember, like and subscribe.